Hello viewers, I'm Sanjay Pandya, welcoming you to another episode of the Tax Time. Your taxes matter. This weekly show brings you all the latest that you should know about taxes just in time for filing your taxes. And of course, this is with the help and the guidance of Mr. Ajay Kumar CPA of Sai CPA Services. Sir, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sanjeevji. I'm doing great.
Very good. Ready for another round of discussion on taxes in our show?
Absolutely.
Well, you know, more and more viewers are finding our show very, very interesting, very helpful, and very informative.
Absolutely.
So that's a good sign. You know, when it comes to taxes, on a tax day, you know, most of the Americans send their money to Washington, D.C., and some wealthy Americans send their money to Cayman Islands or off the shore that we call that, right? Well, the reason I started with that is light humor and a joke, but the point is no matter where you send the money, but if somebody calls you up and say, well, you haven't sent the money and we want you to send the money, and they pretend to be IRS agent or from IRS, then you got to be really careful.
Yes, you need to.
All right, Ajay Kumar, what I'm leading my conversation to is IRS phone scams or
absolutely.
IRS, all kinds of scams. What you have to say about that? This is a very alarming issue.
Well, there are two sides to this issue. A lot of people try to scam IRS by doing certain things, by sending money to Cayman Island, for example, as you brought it up. Or the second part of the equation is a lot of people try to pretend to be IRS and try to scam the general population. So let's talk about people trying to scam IRS first. What people typically do, what IRS is looking out for, what IRS has listed on their website as top scams, as how people try to scam IRS. We have listed few main scams for our viewers over here. One of the scam is, one of the top listed scam is foreign income. A lot of people try to send money to Cayman Island, to India, and the interest on that income or the assets that they have in India, the rental income that they have over there in a foreign country, a lot of people don't report it, assuming IRS will never find out. IRS has special processes, special procedures to find out about the foreign income under the FBAR FinCEN 114 that we talked about in one of our episodes. So foreign income is listed as one of the top scams that IRS is looking out for.
Bilkul. That's a foreign income. That's people, you know, parking their money off the shore, Cayman Islands or wherever they want to spend. And IRS scams. So you're saying there are people who cheat IRS. It's also one kind of scam. But here we're talking about people who call in and pretend as they're calling from IRS or IRS agent. And they say, well, your taxes are due or you have underpaid your taxes and we need you to pay money as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
And these are the fake IRS agents that I think we all should be watch out for.
Absolutely. So IRS never calls. In the worst case scenario, especially if you own a business, only for the small business owners, IRS agents have the right to come over to your business location to drop their business card over there. But IRS will never call and threaten on the phone that they are calling from IRS and you should pay this much money, otherwise we'll cancel your driving license or anything or deport you in the worst case scenario. A lot of times these phone calls have the caller ID of Internal Revenue Service, IRS. And the way the caller ID works, even if you have Indian resident society,
it would appear as IRS, and somebody would think it's IRS.
And people get confused, people get nervous when IRS is calling with a threatening call and they see on the caller ID IRS. It sort of adds up to the case. A lot of times these callers will give you a number, call this number if you don't trust me. And they have somebody of their own sitting on that number as police agent, some cop. Hey, this is Sergeant so-and-so speaking. If you don't pay your IRS, IRS has reported to us as well. Now they are adding to their claim. And people get nervous about it and people tend to send money. We want our viewers to know that IRS will never call, will never threaten you with passport cancellation, with deportation, with driving license cancellation. That's not the IRS protocol. IRS will never send you an email. A lot of times IRS, these people who are pretending to be IRS, they will call you, the caller ID looks IRS, then you get an email immediately. We try to contact you, you hung up the phone, and here is the email, here is the address, here is the phone number, here is the amount you need to pay. IRS will never email any information to you.
Okay,
IRS
so
will never send you this information.
absolutely, that's true. Now, as we are talking, this is a twofold scam that we are talking about. Twofold in a sense, taxpayers who cheat IRS, it's a one kind of scam, and the other one is, of course, people who pretend to be IRS agent.
right.
That's another kind of scam. Earlier, you mentioned that people who hide their income, or,
Right.
or they actually park their money somewhere off the shore, Cayman Islands and everything. What are other ways that you can share with us that taxpayers find a way to cheat IRS or to hide their income?
Well, other than the foreign income, a lot of times there are abusive tax shelters. They're referred as tax shelters in the IRS books. And famous tax shelter is captive insurance. It's not meant for small business owners, for the large corporations. The principle is people try to create their own insurance company to insure their businesses. They pay large premiums to their own insurance company, and after 2 years, after 3 years, they will dissolve the insurance company and take back all the premiums at a lower tax rate, if not tax free.
An insurance company would allow that?
Well, the insurance company is owned by these individuals. Say I own 5 companies,
Okay.
and my net worth is $20 million.
Okay.
I'm paying hefty sum of money for this insurance payment. So I create my own insurance company that I own. I try to pad up the insurance. I need the insurance for this wall. I need the insurance for this light. Instead of paying $10,000 for the insurance, I'll pay $100,000 for each company to my own insurance company. So for these businesses, it becomes a deductible expense.
So it's an insurance company you're talking about, or an insurance agent?
No, it's the captive insurance or the tax shelter.
Correct.
Is all about creating your own small
okay.
insurance company that I own.
Right.
I'm trying to insure my own businesses, try to pad up the insurance for the things that I don't need the insurance for. I'll try to create an insurance for those items, pay the premium to my own insurance company, get the tax deduction for my business. After 2 years, 3 years, I'll dissolve this insurance company and take all the money back at the capital gain rate. The regular income tax rate is 37%. The capital gain maximum is 20%. So it creates a tax arbitrage. It's called captive insurance. It's meant for larger business owners, not for the smaller business owners, because the cost to maintain such a structure is very high.
Correct.
It's
It sounds like a very smart scam.
It is a scam, and that's why it's listed on IRS website as one of the
most
top
popular.
scam. So other than the foreign tax shelters, captive insurance is another sort of tax shelter that IRS look out for.
Okay. And the fake charities, is it true that there are fake charities, people set up charities for their own use and then they divert money into that charity so that way they don't have to pay tax?
Absolutely. The charity is a sacred area. IRS has defined guidelines to create the charity. Anybody can have a charity. Anybody is allowed to create their own charity.
Okay.
A lot of times people create the charity only so they can hide their own money. Since the cost to maintain the charity is not that high, a lot of times we come across this charity is not doing any activity. But the reason this charity was created only for this person, so they can push their own money and use this charity for their personal expenses. This is how the IRS looks at it when it comes to fake charities.
Sounds very complicated. I'm sure that there are people who are doing this.
There are a lot of creative people who tend to do these kind of things.
Right.
Other than the fake charities, there are foreign charities. A foreign charity, if it's not listed with the IRS on their system as a 501c3, is not allowed as a charitable deduction. So a lot of times, not only people are sending money to India, not knowing any better, and they are trying to claim that as deduction. Sometimes we come across situations when somebody has their own charity, their friend's charity, and they are deducting money because they are giving money to the charity, and this charity is not doing anything. This charity is sitting down, collecting the money, or this money in the worst case scenario is being used for their own personal expense. So that's how the fake
That is, I think, most likely that's exactly what's happening, that money is being used for their own personal expense.
Absolutely. We have seen those cases as well, Sanjeev.
Okay, as we're talking about IRS scams from both sides, the taxpayers who cheat IRS and the other individual who pretend to be IRS agent and then they cheat individuals. So that is exactly what our show is all about today. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. When we come back, we've got a very interesting IRS phone, email, scam information for your knowledge. So please stay with us. Welcome back to the second segment of Tax Time, your taxes matter show. This weekly show brings you all the latest that you need to know on the taxes. I'm joined by Mr. Ajay Kumar, CPA of Sai CPA Services, and today we're talking about scams.
Absolutely.
People who scam IRS and the people who pretend to be from IRS and scam taxpayers.
Absolutely.
All right, now this phone email scam has been quite unpopular. Many people have been affected and it's been going around for some time, and some people have been caught outside US involved in this kind of IRS phone email scam. Let's just give our viewers a little more insight of that IRS phone email scam, and I believe that you have one classic example of IRS scam to share with us.
Absolutely, Sanjeev ji. So the key characteristics of this scam are the amount they are asking for is quite small. They will typically not ask for thousands of dollars. They will typically ask for a few $100s, so people can easily afford to give it out. They will typically give you very short amount of time. They will use a threatening call. If you don't pay the money now or else, pay the money today, tomorrow. They will not give you 30 days. IRS will never try to collect money in 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. They will have to send a letter, give you 30 days to respond to that letter, send another letter. IRS must have 3 letters out before the case can go into collection. Even when it goes into collection, IRS does not have the right to give you a threatening call. Give me the money now. They have the right to freeze the account, but it's never a threatening call. We have listed a classic example that we have come across for our viewers. And in this classic example, people will get this type of letter.
Yes.
And if you notice on this letter, on the left-hand side, on the top left corner, the address they have mentioned is Austin Processing Center. IRS has an office in Austin, but the name of the office is not Austin Processing Center. On the right-hand side, on the top right corner, the phone number that they have listed is incorrect. This is their own number. If you go down over there, you will see the amount they are asking for is quite small. They are only looking for $300 some. And further down on the right bottom corner, you will see they want you to write the check to IRS. The IRS is the name, Internal Revenue Service is the division, but the checks are always written out to US Treasury, United States Treasury. This is a classic example. When you see this kind of letter, a lot of people tend to get confused, tend to get nervous. Hey, it seems right. Even the logo that they have listed on the left top corner is not right. If you get this kind of call, don't be threatened. Talk to a competent CPA. Call IRS directly. You can go do a quick Google on IRS phone numbers. We will list the IRS phone numbers for our viewers. You can call 1-800-829-1040 for individual hotline, or you can call 1-800-829-4933 for your business tax matter. These are the published IRS number. If you see a notice like this and there is another number given on it, don't try to call that number. That number may be fake over there.
Well, that's a very, I would say, astounding information that you have shared with us.
Absolutely.
And especially this actually looks like a real IRS notice. If you,
It does.
If you give it
It's
a,
scary
if you give it a
close.
quick glance, it really looks like a real IRS notice. And I was going to ask you a question about the logo. You said logo is not the correct one, but for a second it looks like correct one. It says IRS.
Yes.
And it matches with IRS logo, and
It's close to it, but the left side is not matching with the right side of the logo.
That is true, but this is amazing. So now they have started to send out letters like this?
The scam is getting smarter. So this type of letter scares people more than a quick call. People are aware of it. People have heard about it. So a quick call is not enough anymore. So they have taken this whole scam to the next level. First they will call, then they will give you a number. They will ask you to call, or they will have another person call you and pretending to be from the police department, from the local police department, just to add on to their scam. So a single call scam has been taken to the next level. A lot of times those kind of calls will follow with this type of letter.
And there's no way authorities can track down the group or the groups behind this kind of scam who actually send out these letters, by reaching out to their phone number?
Absolutely. IRS does a lot of hard work to find out these scammers. A lot of these scammers are punished every day. But a lot of these bank accounts, a lot of these calls are made outside this country. So when you deposit the money, when you're sending the money order, you are sending the check. A lot of times these checks are not deposited here. A lot of times the calls that people are getting are not coming from the US system.
True.
So a lot of times these scammers are not easy to track, not easy to punish. But IRS does track these scammers or try very hard to find these scammers and try to punish them.
All right. So until now, what we have heard about IRS phone scam is either they call you basically on your home number or maybe cell number, I don't know, or they send you an email. But now it's actually a letter that you get in the mail. So definitely our viewers should know that if you get some kind of letter like this, and you should really pay attention to it to see what exactly it is, who is behind it, and whatnot.
The ideal thing that our viewers can do if they have this type of letter is to take this letter to their CPA or find on Google what the number is for the IRS. They are published number. Those numbers haven't changed forever. Call IRS at a number that's published on the website, not on the notice that you are getting. A lot of times these notices can be scam and they're too close to the real notice.
Okay. You with your 20 years of experience, have you had any clients who kind of got trapped into this kind of scam recently?
A lot of times, Sanjeev ji.
Yeah.
We get calls from the scared clients. Hey, I just got a call from IRS, they want $500. Typically the amount is small. And we'll say, okay, not a problem. Just tell them to send you a notice. And if they do send a notice, you send that notice to us and we'll look into it. All these scammers, they will try to avoid sending the notice because they know if the notice is sent out and notice is given to a competent accountant, the accountant can easily see through it.
Correct.
So a lot of these scammers are counting on quick collection.
Okay, it's a scary and it's a scam. But anyway, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this message. Welcome back to the third segment of the Tax Time, Your Taxes Matter Show with Mr. Ajay Kumar, CPA of Sai CPA Services. Today we're talking about IRS scams, phone scam, email scam, and now we know the letter in the mail scam. All right, now if somebody gets trapped into this kind of scam and ends up paying, like you mentioned, that's a couple of $100, they usually don't ask for a whole lot of money, and you pay them, your money is gone. There's no way you're going to get your money back.
That is right.
Can you claim deduction on your tax return?
No. If you have a business and you got tapped into it through the business account, you have the right to collect it as a bad debt expense. But if you are an individual, and typically these calls...
Mostly for individuals.
They are targeting the individuals who are making less money because they know these people are filing their own taxes. They are typically not using a competent CPA, so they have no recourse. They have nobody to verify this information from, and they will ask for a small amount of money. A lot of times these scammers are counting on a quick collection, give me now or else.
There should be some kind of protection for those people who really get trapped into this kind of scam.
Well, the protections are there. If you, as a viewer, get a call, you stay polite. You don't have to be emotional about it. You don't have to be yelling at them. Even if you know it's a scammer, you stay very polite, get their name, which they are happy to give, get their badge number, they are happy to give that as well. Then you politely say, I cannot give you the money on the phone. Can you send me a letter? And if they raise their voice, if they try to threaten you, say, sir, threatening is not going to help. You can keep threatening me, keep yelling at me, it's not going to help. Unless you give me the letter, I'm not going to pay. It happened actually with me.
Oh, with you?
Absolutely. One day, I got a call. Hey, this is IRS calling. Do you know you owe $327? I said, really? And then this guy did not realize that I was the accountant, I was the CPA. And he kept going, this is my badge number. If you don't trust me, call this number. The local cops will be at your home. I said, sure. Do you know how much you owe? I politely said, I should. I'm the CPA. And they disconnected. So that's another thing you can do.
So even if you're not CPA, and by simply using that excuse as a CPA or I'm an accountant or give me all the information, then they will know that you are basically aware of this kind of things and they will run away.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you just tell them, please give me all the information you have. I'm the CPA. I'll look into it. or I'll have my CPA look into it. Give me your number, I'll have my CPA call you.
That's it.
They will not
They
try
are
to
gone.
collect the money.
What
from
are
you.
the legal ways to save taxes?
Well, there are more than 2,000 changes under the tax reform. The tax library is pretty vast. I get this question every day. What can I do to save money on my taxes? And I politely say, everybody's tax situation is different. People who have home, they have different ways to save taxes. People who have a small business, they have different ways to save taxes. People who are donating money, people who have Indian resources, people who have medical expenses. Everybody has different way of deducting their saving the money on their taxes. So there is no shortcut to it. There is no single way, do this and save tax. If that was there, everybody would do it. Everybody would know about it. So you have to look at your own situation to see what's applying in my situation, what's applicable in my situation.
Correct.
What can I do in my situation to take the maximum advantage?
Okay. Now with that, a question comes to my mind is IRS tax court cases.
Right.
Are they different kind of IRS tax court cases, or what should one do?
What happens if somebody is trying to claim certain expenses or trying to claim, let's say, captive insurance expense? IRS and the case is not settled between the IRS agent and the taxpayer. Then this case, this situation is referred to the IRS court. Once the court makes a decision, that becomes a gospel. Then this court decision is used as a guideline for the next situation. Say, for example, so we came across a great case just last week. In this case, one person who had a job, he was trying to collect reimbursement, fixed amount of reimbursement every paycheck, because he had to travel, he had to go to the job, he had to use certain uniform, he had to use certain expenses, office expenses. So the understanding was, give me $10,000 on the W-2 salary and give me $2,000 as a reimbursement, which technically is not taxable. So the case was all about, can reimbursement be taxable? The court decided it's really not a reimbursement. If it's fixed amount given out every single month to the same person, it's part of your salary. Your salary is not 10,000, your salary is 12,000.
I see.
And the person, the individual who sort of brought the case up, had to pay the taxes on this amount.
So there are small captive insurance IRS tax court cases as well.
Absolutely, it happens every day. As we discussed in our earlier segment, captive insurance is meant for really wealthy people. People try to create this tax arbitrage where they can save 17 to 20% of the total money. If you have multiple businesses, you can push up to $2 million insurance amount per year into a captive insurance. You keep this captive insurance for several years, then you dissolve it and take the money out as a capital gain, which is taxed at a much favorable tax rate at 20%. So you save money every year on 37% tax rate, take the money out at 20%, so you have a tax arbitrage of 17% that you are saving.
Absolutely. Okay, that makes sense. So the bottom line is to be very, very careful when it comes to scam. If someone tries to really scam you, then you be very careful and do all the background check that you can do to make sure that that's a scam and don't fall for their request. All right, so that's what we are discussing. Ajay Kumar, earlier you mentioned the phone numbers. Can you mention them one more time, please?
Absolutely. So for individual taxpayers, IRS phone number is 1-800-829-1040. For our small business clients, the phone number is 1-800-829-4933.
Okay, that's IRS tax helpline, and they will definitely guide you and suggest you, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, with that note, we come to an end of this week's episode, IRS phone, email, letter scam. That was our topic today. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you, Mr. Ajay Kumar. We'll be back next week, same place, same time. I am Sanjeev Pandya, wishing you all happy and tax-free weekend.